everybody. I am so excited to talk with you tonight about hormones and how they are either your best friend or your worst enemy, and hopefully give you some tips on how you can hone in on your hormones, balance them, and do this naturally. So, let's talk about what hormones are first. The hormones I'm going to specifically talk about tonight are sex hormones. That includes estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. There are lots of other hormones in the body, and they are all messengers throughout the body that tell processes what to do. These sex hormones, however, these are synthesized in the body through a very complex process involving several organs and glands, and we know how important they are to all of our overall functions. In females, estrogen and progesterone are primarily synthesized in the ovaries, while in males, testosterone is primarily synthesized in the testes. However, there are many processes that happen before you get to this point that are so important, kind of the precursors or the root of the root of the root, that allow the hormones to even be synthesized in those locations. It involves other organs like your adrenal glands and even the liver. This is important because if you're going to balance your hormones, you have to start thinking about the root causes of the issue. You can't just go to replacing the hormones, or the cycle will just continue. So, the synthesis of sex hormones begins with the production of cholesterol. That is a precursor to all steroid hormones. And then cholesterol is converted to several different things depending on the specific pathway. And in females, progesterone is converted into estrogen through a process called aromatization, which occurs primarily in the ovaries. When we synthesize these sex hormones, we have to know that these processes are regulated. If we have too many of any of these three or too little of any of these three, then things are out of balance. I want you to hear this. In your body, the way God created you, He didn't make things good or bad, but He made things to where there's a certain balance. When our health starts to get out of control, a lot of times it's because the balance is out of control. And the balance gets out of control very easily in the society that we live in, and we'll talk about reasons why. But whenever the imbalances happen, it means that there's a regulation problem. See, there's a complex feedback system that involves the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland in the brain. And these release hormones that either stimulate or inhibit hormone production in the ovaries. So, if we think about the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland, if you've heard me talk about any part of our autonomic nervous system, you will understand why these are so important when it comes to regulating our stress. Because when the regulation system, your nervous system, is out of balance, then the organs that are impacted by your nervous system become out of balance. The release of hormones from those organs become out of balance, and their inhibition or stimulation of the end game, the hormones that they are supposed to produce in the ovaries or the testes, becomes out of balance. This is the cascade of events that happens. So when this hormone imbalance happens, it starts to cause a wide range of symptoms that can vary depending on different sorts of people. But here's some common ones that I'll just point out: irregular menstrual cycles or heavy periods, mood swings, irritability, anxiety, depression, hot flashes, night sweats, insomnia or repeated sleep disturbances, acne, other skin problems, fatigue or decreased energy, weight gain or difficulty losing weight, low libido or sexual dysfunction, hair loss or thinning, digestive problems like bloating, constipation, diarrhea. It could look different for different people. Wow. So, all of those things on this list tremendously impact your ability to enjoy the life you're living here on earth. So, if I could say anything, is our hormones are either wrecking our life or they're helping us out. If you've checked the box for any of those things that I just mentioned about symptoms, then we know that life is difficult right now. And I don't want you to think about that you can fix the problem just by replacing your hormones. You have to fix the problem by digging deep and taking a more holistic approach to hormone balance, recognizing that hormones are interconnected and influenced by many, many factors, including ones that you can start changing today, like lifestyle, diet, stress levels, toxins, and genetics. Let's dive into these just a little bit more. So, eating a healthy, balanced, that's the word of the day, balanced diet that is rich in whole foods, fruits and vegetables, healthy fats, lean proteins, omega-3s can help balance hormones. Avoiding processed foods, refined sugars, unhealthy fats is going to help balance your hormones. It's huge. It's huge. Number 2, managing your stress. So, chronic stress is going to disrupt the balance of hormones, such as cortisol, insulin, and thyroid hormones. Whenever all of this is interrupted, then it is going to impact your hypothalamus and your pituitary. It's going to impact the cascade of events that lead to your sex hormone production, and that is going to overall impact your ability to produce the correct amounts, either stimulating or inhibiting those in the areas that you need them. So I can't emphasize enough how much your stress is going to impact your overall well-being. And as women, as moms, we often take on a lot of stress and we take on a lot of worry. And then into our 30s, our 40s, our 50s, we really start to have symptoms of hormone imbalance that is setting us up for a stage of life, premenopausal, where we aren't in a good place to be able to handle another hormone swing that is coming our way, and it becomes a very detrimental part of life because our hormones are already struggling. So if you want to set yourself up for a good premenopausal, postmenopausal state of life, it is time to start managing your stress now so that you stop disrupting the balance of hormones now. The third thing that is often impacted by our diet and our sleep, in our diet and our stress, is sleep. Getting enough sleep is so important, and the lack of sleep is going to impact hormone production and balance. You need to aim for at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. That's not like including the going to bed time. That is solid, redemptive, restorative, healing sleep per night. Other things that can regulate your hormones is exercise, movement. Movement is so good for your body. It helps regulate your stress hormones. It helps regulate your hormones that help you absorb food appropriately. And that is going to impact your cascade of events that lead to your stress, your sex hormone production. Aim at least for 30 minutes of moderate exercise most days of the week. It doesn't have to be vigorous. It doesn't have to be so intense. You just need to move. Another big thing, especially for women, is avoiding environmental toxins. Exposures to pesticides, plastics like water bottles, BPA, heavy metals, phthalates, all of these can disrupt the hormone balance. They can either mimic hormones or they can block hormone receptors. So choosing natural, non-toxic household and personal care products and eating organic produce when possible is preferred, so that you have less of an opportunity to disrupt those hormone sites that need those hormones to be there. You can also consider supplementation, but when you consider supplementation, you want to consider supplementing for the problem that is the root cause. I do believe that you should seek professional help and work with a functional medicine practitioner if you are experiencing symptoms of hormone imbalance, because that person can help identify the underlying imbalances and develop an individualized plan. Overall, we know that if you have low omegas, omega 3s, low magnesium, low vitamin D, low vitamin B, that's all going to impact your hormone balance. And so we could recommend those, but is that specifically what you need? Panacea makes several natural herbal supplements that can actually aid your body into making hormones like progesterone and get your body on the right track. There are lots of good products out there, but if we get to the bottom of the processes that are interfering with the hormone production, let's start there with what you need. And if we really get to the root cause, sometimes it comes down to, let's start with the gut and making sure that the gut is absorbing nutrients appropriately, that you are able to flush toxins out appropriately, and then that means that you are set up in order to then produce your hormones appropriately. But all in all, if you take those first things that I told you, eating a healthy diet, managing your stress, getting enough sleep, exercising regularly, avoiding toxins, then you're going to set yourself up from a lifestyle perspective to have balanced, healthy hormones. If you're like, Shelly, I've already too far gone, I have already disrupted all my hormones, I'm so out of whack, it is never too late to rebalance. It is never too late to start again. You just have to make consistent baby steps with accountability and make good habits that can lead you in the right direction. Sometimes that means saying no to something, mamas. Sometimes that means changing your whole lifestyle. But whatever it is, you need to do it so that you can balance your body, balance your nervous system, balance your hormones, and stop the cycle of hormone imbalance that is wrecking your life. So please know that I am praying for you, because I understand how detrimental hormone imbalance can be to your life and to your family and to your relationships. And please know that there is an answer to naturally balancing these things back out if you're willing to be committed and decisive and resourceful and make some good changes in your life. So I hope this helps you get on the right track. Comment below if you have any questions. I'll have a good night.